The price of Bitcoin is currently at the point where it's completing its third major parabolic wave. And the pattern completion zone of the symmetrical triangle does line up with our upward sloping parabolic trend line. So we are right at the inflection point between a continued parabolic trend or a breakdown below the parabolic trend line. We are now just a couple days away from seeing this play out. What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Kevin Svenson, and today we're going to be talking about the price of Bitcoin. So you may notice that my setup is different. It looks different. It sounds different. I'm actually on vacation right now, out at the beach, getting some sun. But either way, I figured I need to do an update no matter what, because things are getting quite interesting for Bitcoin right now. And before we get started, make sure you smash up that like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new. So in the beginning of this video, we were discussing Bitcoin's parabolic trend and how the pattern completion zone, we're actually in the pattern completion zone, and the symmetrical triangle ends right along the upward sloping parabolic trend line. So this is a critical point, a major inflection point for Bitcoin. I posted something on Twitter today where I compared the 2017 and 2021 volume trends during the parabolic trend. And I said, here are two images comparing the 2017 and 2021 volume trends. The final euphoria phase will likely be accompanied by a steady increase in average volume. Now let me click on the 2017 chart. And the 2017 chart is showing us that there was a decline in volume for the first two parabolic advances, and then as we started to move into that third major parabolic phase, the final euphoria phase, looking at the volume, there was actually a steady increase in average volume moving to the all-time high. And what's very interesting is if you look at the 2021 chart, we have the decline in volume, just like the last bull run. And we have two parabolic advances, and we're on the third one right now. So what I'm looking for is the final euphoria phase. When are we actually going to get a true blow off top where emotions have completely peaked? And we have not seen that yet. Usually a peak of emotion is lined up with a peak of volume, and we have not gotten the increase in average volume over time. Not yet. So I do think that even if Bitcoin did break down, let's say the worst case scenario, Bitcoin actually breaks down soon, I think that the breakdown will probably end up looking something more like this. In this range right here, we had a symmetrical triangle, and then we broke down, and we created a double bottom reversal. Currently, we're in a symmetrical triangle, and even if the worst case scenario happens, I do think we would probably end up recovering from this point, simply because the chart, the volume, is showing us that we have not seen a peak of emotion yet. So keep in mind, not only do we still have that volume decline without a major euphoria peak in volume, usually a major blow off top in a market is accompanied by a major spike in volume. So we don't have that. And also, what do we see? Bitcoin balance on exchanges just hit a 2-year low. Looking at this Glassnode's post, we can see that the balance on exchanges has reached a 2-year low of 2.4 million. So it's still on the decline. And usually before a market peak, just like here in 2019, the balance on exchanges obviously would increase. People, the big whales, the big players, they're not selling their Bitcoin. The balance on exchanges is going down. So there's not going to be, in my opinion, right, I could be wrong, there's not going to be a major sell-off from this point. Yes, short-term, a short-term dump is possible. But I mean long-term. I think we're still well within, we're like middle of the bull run right now. This is all middle of the bull run type price action. And that is exactly what this depiction I have here on Twitter is showing you, is that it's all middle of the bull run type price action. And looking at the weekly chart for Bitcoin, I don't have my normal weekly chart. You guys know, my regular viewers know what that weekly chart looks like. I'm using a different computer, but we can see that in the last bull run, the price of Bitcoin, the trend after the halving, actually was slower than it is now. Right now, there's more interest. We're actually this trend is taking place much faster. And that has a lot to do with the global economic environment, right? If we didn't have the current events that we had today, this trend would likely look different, right? everything is dependent on real world events, and all the money printing that's taking place is actually speeding up this cycle, making it happen much faster. We know that there's inflation coming in on the horizon, and a lot of the institutions know that. So it's interesting to see that this bull cycle is happening faster than the last one. The lengthening cycle theory is a bogus theory, and there's really nothing to back it up. There's nothing to back up the lengthening cycle claim. And in the last bull market, we had the purple 10-week EMA was our immediate support indicator, our immediate support moving average, but we had some touches off the 21-week EMA. And in this bull cycle, we have only been riding the 10-week EMA. That has been our support line. We have never touched the 21-week EMA. Some people are saying that they think the price is going to break down. If we did get a breakdown, if that did happen, maybe we could be targeting 38,000, 40,000. Which wouldn't be that big of a deal. It would actually be right along those weekly candle closes here. And I really wouldn't be all too worried. I would still be focusing on the long term, and that would just be a nice reset, a nice area of accumulation before a continued leg up. And in my opinion, we're likely going to see a top form in the summer of this year. As depicted here on Twitter, these charts show that once we get that increase of volume to begin to take place, we only have a 3-month period. At least that's what it was in 2017. Right, going to the next view here. In this one, if we start to get that volume increase for the final Euphoria phase, maybe we only have 3 months or so, maybe only 3 months. And that would mean that we would top out somewhere in the summer of this year. And this is really what I'm focused on, right? Short term, I don't even care. It doesn't really matter to me. It doesn't change my life. The long term is what is life changing for me personally. And I think that somewhere in this area, is when we're going to get the ETF launched on Wall Street. I know there's a European ETF. I know there's a Canadian ETF, but those aren't the ETFs that I'm concerned about. I'm concerned about the Wall Street ETF. That's the ETF that actually matters. That's the ETF that has the most influence. And it's not necessarily that it's going to be once the ETF launches, then it's over. There could actually be, when the ETF launches, there could actually be a final wave for like another month up. A final hype wave where the average person sees on the news that Bitcoin has an ETF and it's accessible to them to invest in, and it causes this like final surge, right? I think there likely will be a final surge after the ETF launches and we hit a really high target like 250,000, right? But I think that is going to be the area where retail gets suckered in. That's what I think, at least. And I'm still, the trajectory of this trend is pointing to summer of this year. Unless something changes in between, that's what I'm going to be sticking with. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope it was helpful. Just wanted to give you guys some more insights. Sorry I haven't been posting recently. Again, I'm on vacation, but I needed to do at least something while I was on vacation. If you guys enjoyed, hit the like button, subscribe to this channel if you're new, and I'll see you all in the next video.